Alright, this is Rory Andrews for Swarmio eSports, and PC Gamer just came out with an article about why players' personal brands are becoming a problem for Pro League of Legends. It turns out PC Gamer is just finding out that eSports is full of nerds. Oh no! Cue the bumper. So PC Gamer came out with an article talking about why players' personal brands are bad for eSports, which is silly because players' personal brands are kind of eSports. They lament the fact that with all this new lighting and production value and announcers and co-hosts and interviewers wearing Armani suits with music in the background, that when they actually pan to the players, the production value just isn't there. Well, I got one thing to say to you, PC Gamer. Get over yourself. See, this is the problem with esports. First of all, it's called esports. It's not called pro gaming. They made that connection to sports, and it's not a bad connection because when people hear gaming, they think jacks and snakes and ladders and hopscotch. When you hear sports, you think hockey and baseball and basketball, and it's not a bad framework to work off of. Sports have been popular for 100 years. They have leagues and they have teams and they have players and they all make a lot of money. So why not? Here's the problem. When you put the comparison to a little too exact, you run into big differences. Like the players, for instance. Professional players have played sports in front of hundreds of people in middle school and high school and college, and now they're in the pros, and they probably took public speaking, and they're the physical embodiment of perfection, and they're all Adonises in front of the camera, and still a lot of them tend to be mediocre at best at interviews. But they're used to being in front of people and in front of cameras, and they're usually at the start of their career around 24 years old. Esports players, they start at 17. They've never competed in front of people in their lives. They're not used to being interviewed. They spend 10 hours a day playing video games, and wow, they don't have a lot of charisma. That's just too bad. However, within esports, there are examples of players and pro teams taking advantage of this cult of personality that PC Gamer is looking for within their players. Unicorns of Love is a great example. They take these photo shoots full of pink shirtless players with unicorns on their heads, and it attracts a lot of people. Much like you'll see in UFC or boxing, it's not the most talented fighters that always get the big matches, but it's the most eccentric ones. It's the ones people want to see. Apparently this is what PC Gamer wants, but you can't expect every single player in esports to start wearing unicorn heads or getting tattoos and mohawks in order to appeal to their audience. These kids are young and they have no idea how long their esports career is going to last. Most esports players retire by 22, so how long does that give them to really establish a personal brand? So it turns out that esports players are a little awkward sometimes and a little shy in front of the camera. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. If you expect it to change anytime soon, I'm not gonna hold my breath. So PC Gamer, just let these kids be kids. They're good at what they do. They're the ones filling the auditoriums, not the light show, not the rock music, not the announcers. That's all packaging. Let the kids be kids and let them play their game. Thank you, and good night.